Yesterday I did a short video on why it's really good for us and good for our planet to get out and do some gardening, especially when it's sunny like this. Today I'm just going to give you a couple of really simple steps on how to get started with your gardening and how to do it effectively and turn it into a bit of an achievement, something you can be proud of. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to grab a notebook, a pen and your phone and go and sit outside. The next thing I'd like you to do is to, on your phone, research, plan, take some notes whilst you're outside on what you want to do with the garden. Do you want to grow some fruit, some veg? Do you want to create your own compost? Do you want to contribute to growing our wildlife and our bee population? Bearing in mind that bees are so important to our planet and to the foods that we eat, for example. For example, on the wildlife side, you can order some ladybirds to be delivered to your home. Ladybirds are really good at getting rid of some of the pests that eat our nice flowers, like aphids. You can order really cheaply a load of wildflower seeds, which you can plant at home, and that's really good for wildlife, particularly for bees. You can do a fun activity with your kids. You can build a bee house, which is something we're doing this afternoon as a family. You can also order some bee bombs online, and they're really good for attracting bees and helping keep them in your garden. And this is just a great way of helping pollinate the flowers in your garden, helping them to blossom. Did you know that bees are responsible for the pollination of 1 out of 3 bites of food that we eat? And if you think about the chocolate, the beef that we eat, the milk, the cheese, the number of different things that have milk and cheese, your favourite pizza, all this stuff is key to our favourite foods and foods we need to sustain us, and that comes from the cows, and the cows predominantly eat grass, and it's the bees' pollination that's really key to growing that grass. So they're really, really important. You can also get basic tools to get you started with gardening second hand. Let's go on Facebook, for example, and find someone locally who might have some extra stuff that they're selling. You need things like some little clippers so you can prune your roses. You prune your roses, they grow quicker and nicer. You probably need a couple of these small spades. You might need a big spade. You might need a bucket, or you could use recycle a cardboard box, maybe on one of those Amazon deliveries. There's some really minimal local things you need to get started with your garden. Now, other things I want you to research as you plan how you're going to do your gardening, how you're going to achieve a successful and enjoyable project, is to prep your soil. So you need to read up on how to prep your soil. Then it's about planting things. Make sure you follow the instructions and research on best times of year, which part of the garden, thinking about full shade, partial shade, full exposure to the sun. Different things need different surroundings and environment to maximise their growth. And then it's about nurturing and maintaining that garden. So you need to learn about the food for different plants, different vegetables. You need to water, but not to over or underwater. That can kill your successes. You've also got to keep on top of your garden through a bit of weeding, a bit of pest control. As I mentioned with the roses, a bit of pruning, which is what I'm doing right now. And finally, don't forget to take some before and after pics, because you'll see weekly progress that you can be really proud of. And most of all, enjoy it. Personally, I find it really therapeutic, and I'm really grateful to my late grandfather, who was massively into his gardening and it passed on to my dad. And it gives me something nice to think about with my late granddad, because he was a great guy and he was a war hero in the Second World War. So it's nice to think about him and hopefully to make him proud with what I'm doing with my garden, what I'm doing with my kids, and hopefully with all of you, by inspiring you to get out there and do a good job in your gardens.